Hey guys, so in the past couple of weeks I have been playing a little bit on the PTR, trying to figure out what's what. I'm sure many of you have noticed that the average Barb's effectiveness has been greatly reduced, so I wanted to find out how to offset this. A couple of builds out there have been grown in popularity, and today we'll take a look at the top 3. These are the Hammer of Ancient Spec, the Flame Whirlwind, and the Overpower Whirlwind. First up, Hammer of the Ancients. This build is not a whirlwind build at all. It focuses on reducing the fury needed to spam the hammer skill. Basically this means that with good enough gear, the fury requirement of Hammer of the Ancients is reduced to just 1. This means that by substituting the Hammer of the Ancients skill as your main attack, that is left click, your crit will be good enough to keep that fury high enough for all the other skills, freeing up 1 slot to do whatever with. The problem is that you nearly need perfectly rolled legendaries and weapon to do so. You can get by with a skill cost of 5 or 6 fury, but even then you'll need to spend around 20 million gold just to get all the gear that you need to make the build work. If you're looking for something more reasonable, the Flame Whirlwind spec might suit you better. It is based on the legendary weapon Maximus. This two-handed sword is most known for the Fire Demon with the fire chains that spawns pretty much 70% of the time to aid you. But it's got an interesting modifier. Fire skills deal 15 to 25% more damage. You can combine this with another legendary, Mage Fist, which also increases fire damage by the same amount, resulting in 50% more fire damage. Switch Whirlwind to use the Volcanic Eruption rune, and you have nearly 300% damage from Whirlwind. Couple this with high DPS and high lifesteal, and you'll be cutting through mobs with no problem. The issue with the build is that it slows down your Whirlwind speed significantly. Thus, you're subject to more damage, and therefore you need to mitigate this by increasing your DPS. You're going to want around 60k DPS on paper before the 300% increase. The cost of the build varies depending on how good your current gear is, but decent Maximus blades start around the 2 million mark and go up. You will also need crit gear and lifesteal gear. Overall, the build should be easily under the 5 million mark. Still too much? How about free? The last build is Overpower Spec. Simply replace Warcry with Overpower, ruined with Crush in Advance, and you'll get 35% damage reduction for 4 seconds. Because Overpower's cooldown is reduced by crits, it will be spammable when whirlwinding in large packs, even more so when Wrath of the Berserker is active. Since Overpower is an AoE attack with no character animation, it casts instantly and offers free DPS while whirlwinding or while running. The downside is that you will have to wait most of the times when you're fighting few elite mobs or just small little groups. The build is currently used by most of the high level streamers, those people that are doing monster power level 5 and above. Like always, the gear you have dictates how well you'll do and which of these builds is going to be best for you. If you have 100 million gold, go for the Hammer spec. You might like the change of pace. Then again, zooming by at the speed of wind might just be more fun than crushing phases. If you have 5 million gold, good base DPS, go melt faces with the Maximus. But if you're broke like me, you have only a few mil in the bank, mediocre gear, just eat the nerf, rock back and forth in a little corner, and cry yourself to sleep. Just kidding. But the nerfs do affect the middle class more than the 1%. Okay. Overpower seems to work well. It's just not going to bring back the survivability from 1.04. My suggestion to all Barbs is to start swapping life on hit for lifesteal, and to increase your overall DPS. This is going to be needed to face higher levels of monster power. Even at level 2, you can feel a significant difference in how fast you can kill mobs. I know, easier said than done, but do start to look right now, as prices will go up. Remember, fun stuff is coming, so don't get discouraged, even if your gear is not that great. Well, let's see what 1.06 brings. Take care, guys.